Millie, Molly, Mandy took her to see Mother, and then they went up to the spare room to unpack little friend Susan's basket. They put her nightgown and brush and comb and toothbrush and slippers in their proper places and decided which sides of the bed they were going to sleep. And they found each wanted the side that the other one didn't, which was nice. Though, of course, Millie, Molly, Mandy would have given little friend Susan first choice anyway. Then Millie, Molly, Mandy showed little friend Susan round the room and let her admire the fat silk pincushion on the dressing table and the hair tidy that Auntie had painted and the ornaments on the chest of drawers, the china dogs with their rough-feeling coats, and the little girl with the china lace skirt. And while they were looking at the fretwork bracket, which Father had made for Mother before they were married, Auntie came running up to say Uncle was just going to drive to market, and they might want to go with him if they were quick. So they scrambled into their coats and hats, and Millie, Molly, Mandy ran to ask Mother in a whisper if she might take a penny from her money box to spend in town. And soon they were sitting up close together beside Uncle in the high pony trap, while the little brown pony, whose nickname was Twinkletoes, trotted briskly along the white road. Little friend Susan hadn't been for many drives. Millie, Molly, Mandy often went, but she enjoyed this one much more than usual, because little friend Susan was so interested and pleased with everything. Billy Blunt was whipping a top outside his father's corner shop as they drove through the village. They waved to him, and he waved back. And a little further on, Miss Muggin's niece, Jilly, was wheeling her doll's pram along the pavement and called out, "Hello, Millie, Molly, Mandy. Hello, Susan." And then they drove along a road through cornfields where the little green blades of wheat were busy growing up to make big loaves of bread, which is why you must never interrupt them by walking in the corn, even if you see a poppy. When they came to the town, there were crowds of people everywhere, shouting about the things they had to sell. And Millie, Molly, Mandy, and little friend Susan followed Uncle about the marketplace, looking at all the stalls of fruit and sweets and books and fish and clothes and 100 other things. Millie, Molly, Mandy spent her penny on a big yellow sugar stick for little friend Susan, who broke it carefully in two and gave her half. When Uncle had done his business, he took them to have dinner at a place where all the tables had marble tops, which made such a sharp clatter unless you put your glass down very gently. There were crowds of people eating at other tables round about, and a lot of talking and clattering of cups and plates. It was very exciting. Little friend Susan was having a splendid holiday. When they had finished, Uncle paid the bill and led the way back to where Twinkletoes was waiting patiently, munching in his nose bag. And off they drove again, clippity-cloppity, clippity-cloppity, clippity-cloppity. And Uncle's parcel stowed under the seat. And when they got near home, it did seem queer for Milly, Molly, Mandy, and little friend Susan to go straight past the Moggs' cottage and not have to stop and say goodbye to each other. They squeezed each other's hand all the rest of the way home to the nice white cottage with the thatched roof because they felt so pleased. When bedtime drew near, they had their baths together, just as if they were sisters. And then Milly, Molly, Mandy, in her red dressing gown, and little friend Susan, in Grandma's red shawl, sat in front of the fire on little stools, with Toby the dog on one side and Topsy the cat on the other, while Mother made them each a lid potato for their suppers. First, Mother took 2 well-baked potatoes out of the oven. Then she nearly cut the tops off them, but not quite. Then she scooped all the potato out of the skins and mashed it up with a little salt and a little pepper and a lot of butter. And then she pushed it back into the 2 potato skins and shut the top like little lids. Then Milly, Molly, Mandy, and little friend Susan were given a mug of milk and a plate of bread and butter and one of the nice warm lid potatoes. And then they opened the potato lids and ate out of them with little spoons. They did enjoy their suppers. And when the last bit was gone, Mother said, "Now you two, I've set the candle in your room, and I'll be up to fetch it in 10 minutes. So Milly, Molly, Mandy, and little friend Susan kissed goodnight to Father and Mother and Grandpa and Grandma and Uncle and Auntie, and stroked Toby the dog and Topsy the cat. And then they went upstairs to bed, hopping and skipping all the way, because they were so pleased they were going to sleep together in the spare room. And next day, when Miss Moggs came around to tell how she had enjoyed her trip and to fetch Susan, Milly, Molly, Mandy said, "Thank you very much indeed, Mrs. Moggs, for Susan's visit. I have enjoyed it."